Representative, are they tying their hands somehow of pursuing fast and furious Eric Holder laws and picking and choosing what he wants to uphold or not? He'll support a state or ignore a state that goes for homosexual marriage but doesn't protect DOMA, which is federal law. So how do you have the Department of Justice pick and choose laws? So we look to Congress. Then we have Janet Napolitano ignores our border security, which affects us economically, the strain, the pool, and we're going, where's Congress saying, hold on a minute. So it sounds to me like it's politics. Somebody's holding, and that's what we want to hear. We want to hear from our Congress. What's Congress doing to protect us, the United States citizens, who have fought, who are veterans, who are here? What's our country doing for us?
We are a republic. It is the law. I drive with a lot of people. I think I've had one speeding ticket in my whole life. Inadvertent. You see, if it's the law, it's the law.
Right.
And if you can just break some laws with impunity, then you can rationalize. Gee, that's a stupid law. 35 miles is a stupid speed limit. I'm going 55. If you can rationalize that it's okay to break a law because it's a stupid law, then you end up with anarchy, don't you? I just think we live in a republic. We rule of law. There are a lot of stupid speed limits, by the way. Really stupid. They need to change them. They need to change the speed limits. If the average person is going 70 miles an hour and it says 55, that's the wrong speed limit, right? Yeah, they need to make it. Then they need to enforce it. It just creates a disdain for law. If you can rationalize it's a stupid law, so I'm not going to keep it.
That's what we're asking.
I'm not going to obey it. Yeah.
Congressman, we were talking about immigrants and stuff, and you said the thing about that, want that many terrorists. But how about that Major Hassan? They killed all the military guys. He was
got
an
him in the
absolute
military and educated.
lunatic, and they won't even call him a terrorist.
Well,
he's got a full beard, and he still gets paid full pay as a major.
Yeah,
If he killed all these people.
We are
Why is that?
sometimes too politically correct. Well, I had a good friend, Pat. What was his last name now? He wore a pin that said politically incorrect and proud of it. And we put it on him in his castle. Yeah. Yeah, politically incorrect. I have one of those buttons. We got to wear it more often.
How does it happen if this guy,
Proud of it.
how can this guy continue to get paid like this? How does it happen?
Well, yeah, there's too much political correctness. And that whole thing with the son, he was the alleged shooter. I mean, how many people saw it?
Unfortunately, he's paralyzed. That's the only good thing we got.
Yeah. But we're very careful.
Yeah.
And that's okay to say alleged, I guess, but no, they saw it. It's not the alleged. When 50 people saw him do it. But he's not been convicted yet. So sometimes we are strict and follow the Constitution, other times we just ignore it.
Do you know why he hasn't gone to trial? Because he has a beard.
And he's not allowed to have a beard. He's in the military.
But he's claiming, because he's a Muslim, you're infringing on his religious rights, that he has to have a beard. So they
It's lunacy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a problem. Other questions?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes, sir.
I'd just like to follow up with two things that you said earlier.
Yeah.
First of all, you said, that you voted against the TARP program, which was essentially used to bail out banks and other areas that were in trouble in the economy. But isn't it true that TARP has actually paid back a large amount of that money back into the Treasury? Isn't that the truth?
That may very well have happened. Absolutely.
So that may have actually been a good thing that the banking industry was safe.
Yeah. See, when you artificially shore up any Christian entity, at the end of the day, what we are doing, what Japan did, we should have watched what they did. They turned what should have been a 2 or 3 year recession into a decade-long recession. The economy will purge itself with the inefficiency the longer we let it. We don't let it. That was another reason. I had no idea that it was going to they would pay it back. They might have paid something back. It was a gamble. If we would loan them money, why wouldn't China loan them money? Why wouldn't Bill Gates loan them money if they were good security bills? Right. If they were good security, if there were plenty of people out there to loan them money. The fact that we got it back, or part of it back, is great good luck.
And also, you said that, in 1994 with Newt Gingrich, all the perks kind of went away.
They did.
But if I remember correctly, just recently, the Stock Act was passed, which said that insider trading in Congress would no longer be legal. So that seems to be a perk that persisted all the way up to 2011.
Oh, what this,
And that's, I mean, how many people are very rich in Congress?
see, there's a cost to, if it comes to the Congress, if you have stocks and stuff, you're supposed to put it in the line around and have no knowledge of what happens to it.
But that's not what was happening.
No, clearly wasn't what was happening. And, no,
So in the case of full disclosure, we want these good people to know what was going on in Congress
Yep.
up to that time.
Members of Congress are, do they yield to temptation like other people do? You just need to keep those from temptation. It's the best thing. Other questions or comments?
I want to follow up on this conversation. Now, that, the blind trust only pertains to, like, you as an individual and not your spouse.
Oh, no, it
It is.
Oh, yeah, it's about to just be happening. I fill out every year my hand. And everything my wife is called. And you can't even put your kids there. But that's, you can't. It's pretty hard to hide. And you're just getting to hide. You have something to hide, you should be fine. Yeah, if you don't want to see it on the front page of the local paper, don't do it.
And while I have your attention and you're over here, can you tell us about the redistricting issue now? Now, that's going to be on the ballot, right?
It's on the ballot, and I understand why they did it, and it's not, I don't feel personally involved. The Democrats control redistricting in 8 states. The Republicans control redistricting in about 9 states. I don't think redistricting should be political. Again, if you have the temptation to pick up another seat, that's an overwhelming temptation to do it. And they had only 2 seats they could possibly pick up in Maryland. One was the Eastern Shore seat, Andy Harris. The only way to make his district a Democrat district is to come across the Bay Bridge, go into PG County, get into a bubble of Democrat voters in PG County. They were going to be largely black. There's a minority state you can't have them. We need a third minority district. Maryland is 45% minority. We have only 25% minority districts. They wanted a third minority district. So they couldn't get Andy Harris because of that. So I'm the only other Republican in Congress. So the only other place to come was here. So they came here. And the only part of Frederick County they let me keep was a Democrat party voting for.
It's nice of them.
Yeah, it's Frederick City and Brunswick in the southern part. We kept all the 3 western counties, and then I have 45% of my district, 357,000 new people in Montgomery County. So it's a Democrat district, 185,000 Democrats, 149,000 Republicans, 79,000, 89,000 Independents.
The sad part about that is, I can feel for I'm a Republican, I'm a conservative, and there's a reason for it. But when you have people that live in the city, and then you have the people out here in the country, agriculture, more, I'm not gonna say that they don't have families in the city, but it's more family oriented out here, more, not as liberal. And when that redistricting happens like that, and they have the populace, chances are that's of the edge. But as far as relationship wise, I don't think it's right. I think it should, somewhere somebody's gonna start looking at the doggone people.
Because they have fractured communities.
Thank you very much. That's what
They
I'm
have
saying.
fractured.
They fractured.
Fortunately, 58,000 plus people thought that was a bad idea, and they signed the petition, it's on the ballot, and you can vote no, and they'll have to do it again.
Okay, very good.
We'll see how well they do it again.
How's that impact this election? Let's say,
But, I have to run in this district.
yeah, I understand that, but I hope this doesn't happen. Let's say you're defeated and then people vote for the redistricting.
It'll be redistricting.
Yeah, but does that affect the outcome of this election?
No, I'm stuck running in this district. And the results of this election will be, the winner of this election will be the Trump.
Well, that's good. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Big deal. Big money down there. Big
Yeah.
money.
What's your sense? How you feel?
Oh,
I mean,
we
well,
run every election like we're 20 points behind, making sure we can be 20 points behind, we're doing the same thing.
That was a great answer. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
I heard 4 speakers say that we should
Choice of education means that there should be competition. Competition always makes things better. It makes them more efficient. For most pupils today, there is no choice. It's a public school in whose geographic area you are, good or bad. That's where you go to school. And the choice thing means that you would give, if they wished it, parents a voucher. By the way, I have never heard any plan where the voucher was more than half of what it cost to educate kids in the public schools. Which means that the more kids that left the public schools using their voucher to go to a private school, the more money there would be per student in the public schools. If every student left except one, there would be millions and millions of dollars to elect that one child. Okay. Because it costs about $10,000 a year to educate in our public schools. I've never seen a voucher program that was more than half of that. Which means that if you go and you take only $5,000, you're leaving $5,000 to spread among the kids that are left. So there'll be more money for the kids that are left. The more that leave, the more money there is to spread among the kids that left. Private schools cost about half as much per year to educate the kids. And there are reasons for this, because everybody has to go to school. And those who go to private school are pretty selective. Their parents wanted them in a different school. Their parents they're paying for the education. What's your homework? Here's where you sit to do it. You'll play after your homework. Thank you. You don't play instead of your homework. So there's a lot of things different that prejudices that the kids who go to private school are better, and they do perform better. And the kids that perform best, by the way, are kids who don't go to school at all. Who are they? Homeschoolers. And why? Because the parents have made the biggest commitment for their education, haven't they? So one of the nice things about the voucher is not only can you shop for school, but then you chose the school. Your kids are going to do well in that school because you chose the school, so you're going to make sure they do well. So there are a lot of virtues to the voucher system, but it does provide competition. And there isn't any argument anywhere you go if you have competition, which is why things have gotten cheaper and cheaper and more efficient. That's what they mean by competition.
How do I get a voucher?
Oh.
To send my kids where I want.
Your local county government has to authorize it, and
So if they don't authorize it, they don't get it.
no,
So I can send it to the Methodist Church or the Baptist Church or the Catholic Church or whichever church that has a school. So it is going to different denominations that are educating our kids.
it goes to whatever school you think your kids will get a better education.
But it means that the county has to approve it.
Oh no, all the county would have, well, they could have not, they can do whatever they wish. But the county has to set up a voucher program. As far as I know, our counties have voucher programs. I don't have any kids in schools. The county has to set up a voucher program.
And they get the money from the taxpayers?
All the money that runs the schools comes from taxpayers.
No, but I mean for a voucher for me to send my kid where I wanted to go instead of public school, that voucher money will come from the taxpayers.
Yes, yes. About half of what would have gone to educate your kid in public school is generally what the voucher system is. Yeah.
Congressman, as an educator, I wonder what would be the commitment to public school if, you know, if that money were siphoned off to private school, there's still gonna be public school. And that's still the way that most people get their education today. How do we know the federal government, and certainly state government, is gonna ante up and support teachers and support the materials in the public schools? Because that's where most kids go. How are we gonna know they're not gonna be abandoned?
The voters will make sure it's not abandoned. Our schools of higher education is the world, and everybody out there tries to come here. In our K through 12, a few years ago there was a test that we were thankful for Cyprus and Sri Lanka. They were the only countries whose kids did worse on the test than our kids did. And you know, there's a huge disconnect here. You have to ask why. In the richest country in the world,
Sounds like something.
where our higher education is the envy of the world, and everybody wants to come here. in K through 12, we're bringing up the rear.
broken. So that means there's a problem with that argument. That, look, as a business owner, and I've been self-employed since 1987, I'm telling you, there's no guarantees. Why is it that some groups think that there should be guarantees?
Where'd you get your education?
School of hard knocks. Okay, the thing is, here's what I'm gonna say. People want guarantees. This is a free enterprise, free market. That's what makes the United States of America, is capitalism. Unless everybody wants to be static. You wanna be a bus driver? Dog night, you're a bus driver. Why? Because your dad was a bus driver. I don't believe in that, and I won't believe in it. We all have that choice. Now, with the exception of a physical disability or a mental disability, we have that choice to try and do the best we can. And that should go for teachers too. Teachers have a responsibility to teach these children, not sit there and talk about their damn retirement. No offense. There's a lot of good teachers out there. There's a lot of great teachers. But there's a lot of them out there